Hello, my name's Abigail Reynolds and I'm delighted to be leading this workshop today for Hospital Rooms Digital Art School. And today we're just going to think about the things I think about in the studio all the time. So I work with pages from books very often, photographs in books, think about how to move these images, change them in different ways, mostly by cutting them into sections, tearing them or cutting them with scissors and then putting them back together in different ways. So today I've got here some books from the studio that I am going to tear up the pages themselves, but I've also got copies that I've made of those book pages, the photographs on those pages, just printed off at A4 so that I can play around. It's not too precious, I can just do anything, I can always print more. So you could either find a book that interests you with photographs that interest you and work with that, or I'll supply some images that you might want to use that are the ones I've got here. I think it's really important to remember that this is very tactile. This is really to do with the hands, this process, when you're working with paper. It's a really nice material. So whenever I'm making collage, I try and remember how it's much to do with the hands. So I'm going to actually start by encouraging you to just do this, which just rubbing your hands together really gently and then feeling them slide past each other. It's just a really nice way to sort of feel that you're here and what you're going to do, and it's just a really nice feeling to rub your hands over each other. The first thing we're going to do is just to practice tearing paper. So I'm just going to take one of these papers, this one. So the way I'm going to tear it is, maybe I'll start to think about this image already. And this image is of a stairway. And so perhaps I'll tear it, maybe I'll fold it along the line I want to tear. So maybe I'll take the line of the stairs and I'm just going to fold it, and I'm going to sort of make sure that's a really nice fold. I'm going to bend it the other way. And again, I'm just going to make sure that's a really nice tight fold. And now I'm going to just come to the side of the table, line that up, and then it should just tear. So you can just slowly start to separate that paper along the line. Okay, so that's something to just practice. So you might want to just take some time to practice tearing. If you've got scissors, you could also use those, but tearing actually gives a nice, slightly softer line. So having torn this image in half on a diagonal, maybe another thing to try is let's just take another piece of paper and just tear it. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe I'll just tear this totally straight down. Doesn't really matter where. I'm going to just fold it here. And again, just really enjoy the feeling of that paper. I'm just going to use my fingernail to make sure that it's a really nice fold, a really nice crisp fold. And paper always has a direction. So you might find that your paper tears more easily in one direction than another, but don't worry if it goes a bit awry. But it's really nice to just practice tearing papers. So straight away we can see we've got spaces opening up. So these images are from this book. I'm just using this book because I like it and because it's huge, so it's easy to see, but any book would be fine. So just opening it up, I hope you can see here that that's the same image that I've printed. I'm just going to take the image that I've separated out and place it onto the image. It's the same size because it's just like a photocopy. And then maybe I'm just going to think about what would happen if I open some spaces here. Maybe that's really nice. Maybe that suddenly means the spaces, this hall, this stairway, it's just a bit more confusing. It's just got a feeling of movement in it. So let's try with the other one that I tore apart. And if I again place it over, and here you can see it's exactly the same. It's just a reversed out image. And if I line it up there, you can see straight away it's almost as if it's daytime on the stairs in the main image, and it's almost like nighttime, or a completely different state of mind, completely different day here. So I might have it exactly aligned, same place exactly, which I guess is probably there. Or I might, again, just open it out. So if I open this out this way, I'm quite interested in how suddenly this column, the columns that are holding up these decorative area on the ceiling, just become incredibly long. So you might want to just take an image and again just try tearing in different directions, maybe with different paper, and see what different effects you can get by this very simple way of separating an image out. Once I've decided something that I like, I could just fix it. And another thing you could try is just turn some of them over. So if I turn that one over, oh, I really like that, that looks great. Actually, I really like that. I'm going to decide to just remove nearly everything, because I just think that looks really exciting to have part of the room just spinning over. So to fix it, so that this can stay as a finished work, so I'm just going to take some ordinary acrylic paint and just put a couple of dabs here, and that will just hold it in place. So now we could pin that up, and there's a finished piece. When you're working with the photographs that you've got of rooms, just feel really free. Feel really free to move things around, change them, just take another copy, do something different, and just keep moving things around until you just feel like there's something really satisfying for you about what you've got. Maybe I'll do something with this diagonal that I made, and just perhaps I'll do again something very simple. I feel like just going to try folding this under, see how that feels. So as you're working, you can just keep changing your mind, just try different ideas out until you find something that just feels pretty good to you. I could bring in here another colour. Maybe that's going to be enjoyable, or maybe that's going to be too much. I've really pulled the room around. Let me try if I can put this back underneath here. And this is something you can find very nice. Sometimes you can find nice little join points where one image starts to speak, or one part of the image starts to have a conversation with another part. Both of these examples, I'm just taking the same room, just different copies of the same photograph. But of course you could decide to put two different rooms together. You could just decide it's more interesting to you to bring two different spaces together. But I'm just keeping it simple here, and I enjoy thinking about how we can change our relationship to the spaces that exist by, you know, imagining a different space, or thinking about taking the roof off and letting the light in. I noticed when I printed this one in negative, this stairwell, it became a little bit menacing, a little bit creepy. So little changes can have big effects on the way you feel about an image. This one is much more complex than the first one, but it's just to see how you can just keep going, and then if you feel like you want to, you can just take one off, do something different. So it's completely flexible way of working. Good luck with your collages. Hope they go well, and thank you for joining me for this digital workshop.